Hi, welcome back to another movie explanation. Today I'm going to explain a horror thriller movie film called Killer Under the Bed, written by Ken Sanders and directed by Jeff Hare. Spoilers ahead. The movie opens up with a brief shot of a house, or one may call it a horror house. A girl is seen running out of the house with extreme fear, as if someone is chasing her. She enters into a storage room outside the house and searches for something strong like a rod to protect herself. She couldn't find anything that could help her. Hopelessly, she starts shouting for help, but no one comes to her rescue. She sits down, shivering. Something from the house, which is not shown to us, at this moment rushes towards the storeroom and breaks open the door and drags out the girl. 1 year later, in the same house, in the morning, two siblings, Kylie and Chrissy, the name of the younger one is Kylie, and the name of the older one is Chrissy, argues about which room should belong to whom. Meanwhile, their mom Sarah comes in holding a box, and she tells them to stop fighting and help with the moving. They stop fighting after a few hours. It gets dark outside. Sarah's watching TV. Chrissy fell asleep on the couch, and Kylie comes to her mom Sarah with a box and asks where to put it. She tells her to keep it in the storeroom. When Kylie goes to the storeroom, she finds a doll hanged by its neck. She thinks it is a voodoo doll and brings it back to her room and sits it on the bed. She searches about voodoo baby dolls on the internet. Collect an item that belongs to the person you wish to bless or curse is shown on the computer screen. Looking at the words bless or curse, Kylie feels ominous and leaves the doll under her bed and goes out of the room. The next day, Sarah drops her kids off at school and leaves for work at the clinic where she works. Kylie meets a girl named Tina in their locker room. She demands $100 from Kylie, saying you'll have to pay me if you don't want to get bullied. Meanwhile, Sarah faces some issues at her dentist clinic. Kylie is being forced by Tina to pay up $100 wherever she goes. She's fed up with this. When Kylie gets back in the evening, she goes to Chrissy. She's in front of the bathroom mirror and asks Chrissy to help her with school, with this Tina girl who was always being mean to her. Chrissy reacts saying, "Why should I help you?" and they start arguing again. Between the argument, Chrissy slips up and says that their dad died because of Kylie in the accident, and it's all Kylie's fault. She blames Kylie for what happened to their dad. Their mother comes running to them, seeing why they're fighting, and stops them. Then, Kylie runs downstairs crying. She takes the voodoo doll and comes up with an idea. She goes into Chrissy's room and gets a hairband that belonged to Chrissy and cuts a piece and pins it to the leg of the voodoo doll. Kylie wants to test the voodoo doll and thinks, let's see if this works for real or not. The next day in the morning, Kylie sits for breakfast and waits for Chrissy to see whether the doll trick worked or not. Then Chrissy comes down limping, saying her leg hurts like hell. Kylie now knows that the doll is working and might curse too, and a smile is seen on her face. Kylie goes back to the doll and takes off the cloth that she pinned to the doll's leg and comes back to finish her breakfast. Now their mother tells them to apologize to each other and they should not repeat again, and they must not drag their dad's name into any argument. In school, Tina comes searching for Kylie in the bathroom and asks the same thing again and bullies her. Tina tears the jacket that used to belong to Kylie's dad. An angry Kylie pins a paper with Tina's lipstick and marks him to the lips of the doll and goes back to class. Kylie keeps looking at Tina to see what happened. Slowly, after a while, Tina's lips get swollen and she runs out of the class with embarrassment. A smile is seen on Kylie's face again. Now, Kylie takes a paper evaluated by her teacher and pins it to the heart for the doll, wishing her teacher should like her. She's in the auditorium. While doing this, she hears noises from four sides and finds nothing. She runs out of the auditorium. Kylie goes to the library and sits on a table, reading. Her teacher comes to her and starts talking in a way that shows he likes her. Kylie understands what happened there. Again, the voodoo doll has done the magic. After school, she goes to her mom's clinic and notices that one of the senior doctors doesn't behave well with her mom. Kylie goes to the doctor's room and takes her hair out of the hairbrush and pins it to the doll's head. Out of nowhere, the doctor has migraines and severe headaches. After a while, when both Sarah and the senior doctor is called to the office, the senior doctor lady starts supporting Sarah. When all of this is over, Kylie is home at night. Chrissy comes to Kylie's room and notices the doll and laughs at Kylie for playing with dolls at her age. Then Kylie, explains to Chrissy that this voodoo doll actually works and made her teacher like her. Chrissy thinks it's a joke and takes the doll and throws it into the trash and warns Kylie if she ever saw that doll again in the house, She will complain to their mom. In the trash bin in which they threw the doll, it starts moving once they left. The next morning, when Kylie wakes up, the doll is right next to her on the bed, and this scares Kylie. When Chrissy wakes up, she has a severe pain in her legs. When asked by Kylie whether she brought the doll back to her room, Chrissy says no. Kylie hurries back to the doll and says sorry, please leave Chrissy alone. Then Chrissy's pain goes away in an instant. Thinking about all of this, Kylie is confused and comes back to her room, and the doll isn't where it was. She searches the whole room but no luck in finding the doll. The doll hides in Kylie's bag and she takes that back to school. And in school, Tina starts bullying her again. Then Kylie replies, "Whatever happened to you yesterday, it was my doing, so be careful with me. I can hurt you again." Tina gets angry and takes Kylie's bag by force. She finds the doll. Kylie tries to stop her, but she couldn't. When Tina gets out and she is in her car, after throwing the doll in the trash bin, the doll reappears in Tina's car's backseat and tries to hurt her with a knife. The doll stabs Tina in the legs. Tina is injured badly and crawls out of the car. One of her friends see her and wants to call an ambulance. While all of this is happening, because of the doll, Kylie understands the situation. When Tina is taken to the ambulance, their teacher is right there taking care of the procedures. He looks at Kylie with a cold gaze. After school, Kylie walks home. Then, her teacher stops his car on the road next to Kylie and asks her to get into the car. Kylie senses something bad is going to happen and starts running into the forest. The doll is back with Kylie. The teacher tells Kylie that he loves her. Kylie somehow escapes him and goes into the forest somewhere to bury the voodoo doll and calls their mother to warn them about the senior doctor that she might hurt her. Just as she said that, the senior doctor tries to sabotage Sarah's name in the hospital. Again, back in the house, Kylie explains everything to Chrissy, but Chrissy does not believe her. In school, the teacher hurts Kylie by holding her hand too tightly and asks her to love him back. Kylie shares this incident with Chrissy in school. She suggests not to go near the teacher and put her head down. Meanwhile, the doll gets out of the buried place and goes somewhere. When Kylie searches for the doll, she couldn't find it. Then she remembers the words said by Tina that someone has done the same thing with the voodoo doll in the past, and now she's locked away in an asylum. That someone is none other than the girl in the beginning who's being chased by the doll. Kylie goes to the girl in the asylum to find a solution for the problem. Then she explains to her that she lost her mother because of that doll. She tells Kylie if you put 6 pins into the doll and hang it by the neck, you might get some time. On the other side, Chrissy goes to the teacher's room and sees him lost in his own world. She asks the student why he's doing this, and she tells him that he's not behaving like himself and it's like something has possessed him. Chrissy then believes what Kylie said was true and starts running back to the house to see Kylie. At the same time, Sarah's senior doctor tried to kill her, and she somehow escapes it. Kylie gets a rope from the storeroom to hang the doll and comes back to the house to do it, but the doll comes alive and starts chasing Kylie all over the house. While this is happening, Kylie's teacher comes and holds her hand tightly, asking her and forcing her to love him. Then, Kylie hits him on the head with the door and makes him unconscious. While running around escaping the doll, Sarah and Chrissy come home. Now the doll starts chasing the 3 of them with the intent to kill everyone. Kylie hits the doll with the baseball bat into the chimney and thinks it is going to burn, but the doll does not burn up and now it possesses Chrissy. Chrissy tries to kill both her mom and sister with a chimney hose. She hits them several times and misses. Both Sarah and Kylie run upstairs escaping Chrissy. Now both mother and daughter, somehow by luck or by God's grace, pins the doll with 6 pins and hangs it with a rope, and the possessions and supernatural phenomenon stop. Chrissy laughs, sleeping on the floor. Now someone enters the house. Only her legs are shown. Slowly, the camera tilts up and we see a girl. The girl is none other than Tina. There's a strange expression on Tina's face, suggesting that she is possessed by the doll. Tina runs straight to the doll, which is hanged by the neck, and releases it from the noose. The film ends here, leaving the audience to assume what happened next. Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below. Stay safe, and never forget, you are awesome.